2021. And now the news in detail. His Majesty 2021 Ingwala ceremony will go on as expected to commence with the Little Ingwala. His Majesty says the nation is expected to follow all COVID-19 protocols throughout the ceremony. This was revealed by the leader of Lakobetelago when making an announcement at the Eswatini royal residence.
Ninebekunene sithunywa ingwenyama inkosi Mswati wesithathu kuzasatise sive ngokuthi ingqwala itaba khona lonyanga ngakho ke ithi wonke lotawuta enqwaleni akasebenzise umjovo utawulandzela umthetho wetempilo nangaba kwakhona ukujova lapho lala ukhona khona nawufika eTgodlweni tabakhanza bemjovo bakumele wonke umuntu otawungena wenza betempilo silandzela umthetho wetempilo sonke sibambisene ngekulandzela usho njalo ke Mswazi omnyama kulabalithuli lodunga ndaba sembelebeleni sidlubula dledle sakuthi sakalobamba mina kangisewuya kabo Mswati ngoba kabo Mswati akuvalwa ngemvalo kuvalwa ngenhloko temadodza bayetha
The Minister of Commerce, Industry and Trade, Mangoma Khumalo, has officially launched the Gamula Chiefdom under Kilongo constituency factory shell construction on Thursday. Now, the minister said the factory shell construction will use above 77 million emalangeni.
The Minister of Commerce, Industry and Trade, Mangoma Khumalo, says the new way of fighting the challenges in our society is captured in the new decentralized development model. The essence of this model is to address social and economic development challenges, synchronizing planning across all government spheres. The minister said all this during the sword-cutting ceremony at Gamula Chiefdom for factory shell construction.
Yetinkundla lethi manje na intuthuko ayendeke etinkundleni kufanele sigcine ngale project lena kuphela qhubekane nalamanye kugcine kusuke esiphihli selidolobha la lokho nje kwekucala ngoba kuthatha ukutaba ngaba nefirm itawubuya nalenye ifirm kubuye nama petrol stations la kubuye nama supermarket la sikhumbule lokho ukuthi intuthuko empeleni isetandleni tethu tinhlelo tahulumende tekuthuthukisa live tikhona tinengi futhi tiyasebenza kwethu nje ukuthi sibuye ndzawonye sibambisane sibukisane ukuthi lokho lesifuna kukwenda singabambisana njani ukuthi sikwende.
The acting chief of Gamula Chiefdom, Thokozani Mathenjwa, extended their gratitude towards government for having to increase employment rate for people in their community.
Lamuhla liphupho lebaka Mathenjwa seliyaphumelela ukuthi bantwa bethu bangasuki lamakhaya bonke baphelele kumathapha nasemadrobheni kodwa babuye babe la batawuvuka emakhaya bahambe bayosebenta babuye futhi emakhaya babone bantwa babo.
The land that will be used for the factory shell construction is about 4 hectares and about 1,000 Maswati will be employed for this project. Reporting, I am Tembeli Hlema Kuchwa with Temba Shabangu at Gamula.
The Minister of Tingundla and Development, David Ngampalala, notes that while visiting chiefdoms, he observed that most people lack knowledge of services offered by their constituencies. Minister Ngampalala said this when visiting Eswatini chiefdom. Our reporter, Fortune Langamanda, has more on that story.
The Minister of Tingundla and Development, David Ngampalala, continues to accept invitations to visit chiefdoms, along with the ministry staff, where they engage residents regarding services offered by their constituencies. On Thursday, the minister visited Eswatini chiefdom. The minister says while engaging with the residents, especially the youth, he realized that most of them were clueless about services that they can get in their constituency, like getting funds to start businesses.
Lemineng lesicabanga ukuthi kuyasisita silitiko nahulumende kutamsita kuma plans akhe ukuthi masibisela emuva bakhulume bona bathini kungaba ngiloko nje mnethu lesikudumisako ukuthi wonke umuntu mase sifikile uyavuleleka ukuthi sikhona ukukhuluma tonke tindaba longaticabanga letingetilo ukuthi kumbe tiko letinkundla siphathele leyo minister naloko lokudingekako sikubisele kuhulumende.
Mazini Regional Administrator Chief Gicha says it is important for residents to know what sort of services they can access from their constituencies.
Abantu kumele bathi ukuthi etinkundleni kwentabalane tinkundla tibaphathelene uhulumende wetinkundla baphathelene sive ukuthi sitokhona kuthuthuka ngoko lokukhule lesikudele nala nako nekutokutsata ima-developments.
Prince Nzangakhona of Vusweni Chiefdom says they were pleased by the visitation made by the Minister of Tingundla and Development.
Nasibabona ke labaphethe uhulumende bavela la siyabona sokumbe sesedudane ne-decentralization. Ngaphandle kwaloko ukutsata nesive sibone sive ukuthi le nduna yembuso nathi yasikhumbula.
Umiyahlaba, Member of Parliament, welcome Shongwe, says residents under the constituents have come up with so many income-generating projects. On the other hand, Minister Nkampalala says the ministry will continue accepting invites from chiefdoms across the country. For Eswatini TV News, Fortune Dlangamandla with Mbonga Dube Vusweni.
The Minister of Tourism and Environmental Affairs, Moses Vilagati, has officially launched the Domestic Tourism Festive Season campaign launch.
The Domestic Tourism Festive Season campaign is expected to last until next month. This festive season's theme is My Eswatini, My Holiday. The Minister of Tourism and Environmental Affairs, Moses Vilagati, says the economy of the country will be boosted if Eswatini can engage in domestic tourism. He adds that the outbreak of COVID-19, new variant called Omicron, has made a massive negative impact on the international tourism.
Uma bantu bakhonile kuhamba, bantu bakhonile kuvakasha, umnotho uyakhula. Akudzingi lokho ukuthi size siphumele ngaphandle kokuthi sithi sivakashile. Khona la ekhaya namhlanje besihlangene nalabo bemahotela, nasibuka tindzaba tebantu lasebakhansela ama-bookings. Ngani ngoba ndawukhumbula ukuthi itolo besinana kuba ku-red list, ikakhulu lebo Europe, wemangisini nabo kuphi kanti uma siye Europe bantu labeta kakhulu la e-UK. So nangabe ke labo sebasifake ku-red list kuba inkinga ukuthi bede. Kodwa bathi bebasuse bantu bebathi bafuna ukubhadala ngisho bo 60,000 i-return ticket. Lo ngayithola nga 10,000 kubuyele eNgilandi. Ngoba abantu bebafuna kuphumela ngaphandle.
Eswatini Tourism Authority Acting Chief Executive Officer Siboniso Madlopa explains benefits of domestic tourism during this festive season.
Eswatini, when they go to South Africa alone, they were spending over $1 billion emalangeni just for leisure purposes. So imagine if you can translate just about half for this to come in. So for that to happen, there must be activities within the country that attracts Eswatini to spend locally.
Hospitality and Tourism Association of Eswatini Chairman Mark Ward says this campaign will boost this sector. Since the outbreak of COVID-19, global tourism has suffered a loss of $2 trillion US, 781 million emalangeni in 2019 and 482 million emalangeni in 2020, which is 30% decrease for Eswatini. For Eswatini TV News, Fortune Dlangamandla with Mbonga Dube Zulwini.
The Deputy Prime Minister's office informs the public that the disbursement of social grants will start on the 9th of December 2021. Now, this is according to a press statement released by the Deputy Prime Minister's office Principal Secretary Makosini Mdawe.
The Principal Secretary in the Deputy Prime Minister's office, Makosini Mdawe, says the disbursement will commence in Manzini region on the 9th to the 10th of December, in Lubombo region on the 30th to the 40th of December 2021. Mdawe adds that the disbursement in the whole region will be on the 50th to the 16th December 2021, and Shisolwen region will be on 17th to 21st December 2021. The PS continued to warn elderly grant recipients to be aware of scammers who may try to swindle them of their grant, saying the DPM's office does not require anyone to pay for assessing services rendered by the office. He further urged the elderly to continue to follow all the laid down COVID-19 health preventative measures and take the readily available booster jabs for those eligible. For Eswatini TV News, Fortune Dlangamandla with Mbonga Dube Mbabane.
The ambassador of Republic of Taiwan, Jeremy Liang, has committed her embassy and staff to buying home products that are produced by women of the Challenge Ministry Swaziland and Teen Challenge Women's Center. Now, the organization protects and empowers women and their children suffering from women obtain financial independence.
The ambassador of the Republic of Taiwan, Jeremy Liang, says his embassy and staff will help Challenge Ministries Swaziland in various ways. This includes using their capacity building project to support the women empowerment initiatives by ensuring the women are trained in entrepreneurship. Liang says the Embassy of the Republic of Taiwan based in Eswatini is pledging that the staff of the embassy and the staff of the Taiwan Technical Mission will continuously buy the home industry products that are produced by the women of the Teen Challenge Women's Center so that they continue to have enough capital for the continuous production of the total clean products. Liang says by this initiative, they hope that the center will be able to realize its dream that these women receive and be able to start their one business when they return home and to their various communities. Republic of Taiwan Chief Donor Development Officer Budi Anurantha explains what donations will be made and how they will be distributed. Anurata says they will donate rice to about 360 children from Buhleni. He also says they will continue to support women and young girls who have been abused sexually and otherwise. Eswatini Challenge Ministries Swaziland Teen Challenge Women's Center was established in 1970 and aims to protect and empower women and their children suffering from physical or sexual abuse. The organization also teaches the women life skills such as growing vegetables, rearing chickens, making soap, and sewing clothes, among other things. For Eswatini TV News, Temgosi Mavimbela with Mbonga Dube, Mbabane.
The Ministry of Tourism and Environmental Affairs has engaged the private sector to deliberate the nationally determined contributions revision process for the country. Now, the Ministry of Tourism and Environmental Affairs, Eswatini Meteorological Services Director Duduzi Nhlengetwa, says the objective of the engagement is to address barriers in developing solutions to climate change.
This is the second business roundtable that the Ministry of Tourism and Environmental Affairs have engaged stakeholders regarding the nationally determined contributions. The engagement with stakeholders is being facilitated by the Eswatini Meteorological Services under the Ministry of Tourism and Environmental Affairs. Meteorological Services Director Duduzi Nhlengetwa says the engagement with the private sector hopes to enhance understanding on barriers and opportunities or solutions for private sector to address climate change.
Sihlangene nabo somabhizinisi sikhuluma indzaba yokuthi ngabe singabambisana kanjani nabo ukuthi sisebenze lendzaba yokuguquka kwesimo selitulu kwatise ukuthi nabo likhona lichaza labangalidlala futhi nabo bayathintheka ngalendzaba yesimo selitulu lesiguquka baphindze bathintheke nangaletaba letentiwa kokulwa naso.
Business Eswatini Chief Executive Officer, Ministry of Tourism and Environmental Affairs, for availing the opportunity for the private sector to have a say on the national determined contributions.
We hereby ask the private sector that you incentivize if you're really serious about reversing these calamitous effects of this environment. Please put your money where your mouth is by incentivizing every project that seeks to address that issue.
Sandile Magongo, who is the facilitator, speaks about business opportunities that will be created.
Bantu abete nemaqhinga la amabhizinisi ngicabanga kamhla ngiloko
sibuke lokho singena njani imali tikhokhiwe kodwa kufuna ukuthi titeke yona lenzaba ye-environment akusito ukuthi tawenda lokunye leti kufuna kube imiqondo le ubuka ukuthi nawe mangeni wakini ungasho ukuthi ufuna kuhlanyela tihlahla ungasho ukuthi ufuna ukubutha amaphepha amaplastic.
The enhanced and more ambitious NDC of Eswatini represent a progression beyond the 2015 NDC by adopting an economy-wide GHG emissions reduction target of 5% by 2030. For Eswatini TV News, Fortune Dlangamandla with Mbonga Dube Zulwini.
The Royal Science and Technology Park, in collaboration with Standard Bank Eswatini and the United Nations Development Program, has invested from February 2020 to June 2021. This was said by RSTP Chief Executive Officer Vumile Dlamini, who says their aim was to invest about 3.9 million in Malanga, but they could not due to the outbreak of the COVID-19 pandemic. Dlamini said this during the Seed Capital Award ceremony of their business incubation program, which was held at this Bayani Lodge on Thursday.
Royal Science and Technology Park Chief Executive Officer Vumile Dlamini says the business incubation program targeted the youth and women as per UNDP's strategic plan principle of leaving no one behind and reaching the furthest first. Dlamini says these businesses are legally incorporated and have bank accounts.
Funding lebe ikhona le ivethwe baka UNDP na Standard Bank kube ngu-2.1 ngalo umsebenzi kejake inkampani tikhonile ku-67 zifike takhi imali engaka-10 million. Lokho kuyanqumeka kakhulu kejake nalokho bekune COVID kejake kuyabona ngasikwakheka imali sibe esiqhubeka Royal Science and Technology Park timbiteni kunento esisakupheka sethemba nje ukuthi nanyalo umnyani lotako utawuqhamuka into letinkulu utawakwa imali letinkulu njengane imisebenzi eseyakhiwe nje kunetikampani lebecaliwe nyalo ticashe abantu abanganga 62.
Principal Secretary in the Ministry of Information, Communications and Technology, Maxo Masugu, who was represented by Matanjana Mota, says they are proud of such initiatives as they close the digital divide.
Lama ideas abuke besangena ke RSTP yabasita ukuthi abafundisa abalolonge lokuthi awusi incubation ukuthi baze baphume nemabhizinisi lathi deve. Ngibonile nje kukhona antique furnitures, kukhona lo shopping online, sineke sithola ICT sizama ukuvala le digital divide ukuthi wonke umuntu akabe ngathi ku level linye in terms of ICT.
Standard Bank Chief Executive Namfuselelo Fagutse, who was represented by Setabile Nkabatsi, says they are proud to associate themselves with such driven youth-owned businesses.
Through this program, the students in the universities and colleges are going to receive capacity building on innovation and entrepreneurship so that they can be able to start their own businesses. As Standard Bank, as we always say, Eswatini is our home. We drive her growth. We drive the growth of the youth of Eswatini through this initiative.
For Eswatini TV News, Temgosima Vimbela, Matapa.
Let's take a quick commercial break. When we come back, the news continues. Stay with us.
After a hard year, we've got the Christmas you deserve with incredible savings. Like Kellogg's Cornflakes for just $39.99 and 3 kg Sunlight hand washing powder for only $52.99. Plus, every day we're giving Lucky Spar Rewards customers their shopping for free. Merry Christmas from all of us at Spar.
It's Bucky season!
Bucky season! Oh, it's Bucky season!
It's Bucky season at OK, where everybody's rushing for fantastic festive savings and the chance to win a Bucky. Fully loaded with groceries every week. Just buy any of our participating products and swipe. Don't miss this Bucky season, only at OK. Owners you can count on.
Intuthuko lekhonsile, intuthuko lesuka phansi emimangweni. usosive lesinesidingeko sayo. Ingene emiphakathini, uboba betikhulu, ikhulunyiswe, ibusiswe enkundleni nasesifundzeni. Ite iyofika kuhulumende lowabatimali tekusukumisa leyo misebenzi yentuthuko nenhlalakahle. Bukela luhlelo sive siyathuthuka. Ubona imisebenzi lesukunyiswe ngaphansi kweluphiko lwahulumende lekwakha takhiwo letisekelwe ngetimali tahulumende, i-microprojects kanye na-regional development fund. Lolu hlelo lutawungena njalo ngalesine nga-8:30 p.m. kusihlwa nangalesihlanu ekuseni nga-9:30 a.m. Sive siyathuthuka. Intuthuko yetinkundla, intuthuko yemaswali.
Welcome back. You are still watching the news bulletin at 8 here at Eswatini TV. Thank you so much for choosing to stay with us. For now, we shall take a look at our financial report.
Standard Bank. It can be.
Welcome back. Now we take a look at news making headlines in the world of sports. Chief Operations Officer of Premier League of Eswatini, Pat Vilagati, says fans and club supporters who have already vaccinated for the COVID-19 should proceed and take the booster shot as one way of protecting themselves better. Vilagati was speaking during the activation campaign of launching the Yellow Sundays for the 2021-2022 Premier League of Eswatini season at Esquadra House in Mbabane. Our reporter Fabrice Msonera has more on that story.
The announcement made by the National Football Association President Peter Simelane when taking the booster shot, where he went on to encourage the public, mostly the football fans who have vaccinated for COVID-19, to take the booster shot. The Premier League of Eswatini has also stepped in to call supporters to take the booster shot. The association's Chief Operations Officer Pat Viragati says, following this information being provided by government, if supporters are to take the booster shot, there will be increasing chances of having more supporters in the near future into stadiums.
Thank you so much for giving us this opportunity to encourage our lovely supporters. Supporters, we normally call them supporters, but instead we call them our clients, our customers. We really encourage them to stand up and go and take the vaccination. It is very important to take this vaccination. It allows you to be able to watch football. It allows you to take your long trip across Africa, because as long as you have not taken the vaccination, other countries, they will not allow you to enter. You'll find that you'll get frustrated in terms of traveling. So on the main issue, it is attending our games. Our games, our stadiums are not up to where we want them to be. We request our lovely supporters, we know they love their teams, they had to stand up and take the vaccination. We would like to thank the Ministry of Health in particular on what they have done in terms of providing the vaccination at the entrance of all our games in our stadium. So for those, even those who have just taken the vaccination, there is the second dose that they need to take to protect themselves from this upcoming wave that we have heard of. So we request our lovely supporters to come and take the second jab so that they go and attend our games. We mostly desperately need them in our stadium.
On another note, the Premier League held an activation campaign which marks the beginning of a Yellow Sundays, the first which will take place this Saturday at the King Sobhuza II Memorial Stadium in Hlangano. We see Manzini Seabirds playing Mbabane Swallows, while Mbabane Highlanders will face Green Mamba. For Eswatini TV Sports, Fabrice Msonera, Mbabane.
Well, that brings us to the conclusion of our news bulletin at 8 here at Eswatini TV. But before we go, here's a quick recap of our news making headlines tonight. His Majesty King Mswati III says the 2021 Ingwala ceremony will go on as expected and will follow all COVID-19 precautionary measures. The Minister for Tourism has officially launched the Domestic Tourism Festive Season campaign, and the Deputy Prime Minister's office says that distribution of social grants will start on the 9th of December 2021. Beautiful Kingdom of Eswatini. That brings us to the conclusion of our news bulletin at 8 here at Eswatini TV. Thank you so much for choosing to stay with us. We shall cross over to the Weather Center for a detailed weather report from us and the rest of the crew here at Eswatini TV. For now, it's good night and God bless.